This is probably the most important part of the video that you want to watch, because a lot of you might be watching this thinking, how do I get Yarbo to move after I unboxed it, right? Well, you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to install these antennas to do that. You can take the battery, install it down in the battery box, plug it in, turn on Yarbo, turn on the remote control, and you'll be able to move Yarbo where you need to get it to move, in your shed, in your house, or wherever you need it to go. You can do that without having anything else done yet. You don't even have to load the app yet. You can do it all right with the controller, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Hey guys, I'm Mark with the Ovalrc, and today I'll be showing you part 2 of the Yarbo setup, and we'll be setting up the Yarbo Core unit, and we'll also be setting up the data center. What we want to do today is get everything together on the Core unit, and we also want to hook it up to the remote control so we can move it around. So if you got the Core unit and the Mower attachment, today we're just going to be talking about the Core unit and getting that up and running. And in the directions, the first thing they want you to do is install this Smart Assist module right here. That's what that looks like. And we're going to be installing this right on the front of the unit where the mower would go. It's very easy to install. We're going to take this connector right here, plug it into the top of the module, and then we're going to slide the module over these pins. The top pins will slide in right here, and the bottom pins will slide in right here. It will snap into place. All you have to do is line up the connections, slide the plug right over top of the connector. You don't have to do anything with this blue collar. That'll automatically lock in place. And then carefully slide the module over the pins until you hear it snap into place. And you'll notice it fits loose on the front. Now you want to go to the back of the mower, which is right here, and you want to lift up right here on this cover, lift that off, and you'll see the plug where we're going to plug in the battery. But first we need to get out the controller, and it sits right in the battery tray here. We'll lift that out, and we'll be controlling the unit with this gain controller. All right, now we're going to take the battery, and you'll see this plug right at the top of the battery here, and we're going to slide this battery down inside the Core unit like that. Next, we'll lift up on this cover right here and slide the plug right into place. Next, I'm going to show you how to install this battery cover, and it seems like an easy thing to do, right? But it's not, because I almost broke off these little tabs right here that lock the cover into place. So I'm going to save you from breaking off these tabs. You want to take these tabs here and install them into the slots like that. And then at the back here, do not take your hand and slam that down. Push in on those tabs a little bit and then press it down and it'll lock right into place. Yarbo gives you a pack of anti-theft screws. I'm really not sure what that's for, so maybe if you have kids at home and you don't want to mess around with that battery, you can take these screws here, screw them into the side, and that'll keep anybody from getting inside that cover. Next, we'll remove the red rubber caps from the antenna wires. At this time, it also says to remove these grommets, although we're not going to do that. You want to leave them on right now when we're ready to install the antennas, and then we'll remove the rubber grommet. If you take it off right now, this wire could slide down inside this hole and you may not be able to get it out. Now you want to find the RTK antenna mounts. We're going to screw them right on top of the antenna wire. And they do send with a wrench so you can tighten up the antennas. Now we can remove the rubber grommet. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Next, you will see a bag that says bolts for low RTK antenna mount. You're going to use 3 on each side. And you'll use the number 2 Allen key wrench that comes with the unit. And you'll use 3 bolts on the other side too. Next, you'll locate your antennas. It looks like in the book that you'll use this antenna right here, but this is not what you're going to use. This is for your data center. What you're going to do is unscrew these off of these high mounts right here, and we're going to do that. Then we'll take these 2 low RTK antennas and tighten them right down on the antenna wire. Next, we'll remove this white cap right here and install the antenna that says Halo Antenna for Rover. And you'll just make that hand tight. Okay, well, it started getting a little dark after I installed this antenna here, so I decided to call it quits and come back out the next day and wrap up this video for you guys. This is probably the most important part of the video that you want to watch, because a lot of you might be watching this thinking, how do I get Yarbo to move after I unboxed it, right? Well, you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to install these antennas to do that. You can take the battery, install it down in the battery box, plug it in, turn on Yarbo, turn on the remote control, and you'll be able to move Yarbo where you need to get it to move, in your shed, in your house, or wherever you need it to go. You can do that without having anything else done yet. You don't even have to load the app yet. You can do it all right with the controller, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. I was following along with the directions, so now's a perfect time to show you how to move the Yarbo. We already have the battery installed. We already have it plugged in. Next, you'll need to lift up on the emergency stop switch. Next, you'll reach down here to this tab where it says pull, lift that up, and remove the cover. Next, you'll see a few connection ports, and you'll see where you stick your tow hitch. There's an activate button right here. Press and hold that down until the lights light up. After you press the activate button or the on-off button, you need to give Yarbo some time. Then you will see the light turn bright white, and then you should be ready to connect it with the remote control. Now you want to power up the remote control by pressing this button right here, and the logo should be a solid yellow. Next, you'll need to press and hold the switch button for 2 to 3 seconds. You'll quickly find out there's a secret to getting Yarbo to move. You can move the joysticks around, press the buttons, you'll see nothing happens. What you need to do is press and hold the button on the top right-hand side of the controller, hold that down. Then you can move the joystick to get Yarbo to move. If you want Yarbo to turn, just move the joystick side to side and get Yarbo to turn. Yarbo does have 2 speeds, so if you'd like to go faster, just press down on the joystick like that, and you can go faster. When you're ready to turn off Yarbo and the controller, just press the button on the controller, hold that down for a couple seconds till the lights go out. The emergency stop switch will stop Yarbo from operating, but it will not turn off the machine. To turn off Yarbo, you will need to press and hold the activate button for 30 seconds. And the last thing we need to do to the core unit is install these heavy-duty plates. We'll remove these plastic ones that the unit comes with, put these on, and that'll protect your unit when you're rubbing up against a tree or a curb. After you do that, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Core unit's all ready to go. Now ready to install the data center. This is what we have left to install. We have the Yarbo data center right here. We have the mounting pole extension. We also have this T right here in case you want to mount it on the side of your house. I'll show you how that goes. And we also have this bracket that'll mount on the side of your house, or you can mount the Yarbo data center right in your yard and you can use that. We'll be mounting up these antennas right here on top of the data center. Comes with this PoE, that stands for Power over Ethernet, and it comes with a power cord. I'll show you how to install that in just a little bit. Comes with a very short Ethernet cord, and it also comes with a 30-meter Ethernet cord that I already ran through the house. I'll show you how I did that. Got some extra bolts, some cable clamps. We have some bolts that you can use to attach the data center to the side of your house. Also some expandable bolts, which is pretty nice, so you can drill a hole and attach that data center to the side of your house. We have some very long yard screws, just in case you want to mount the data center out in your yard. Also has a really nice heavy-duty hitch that we can put on the back of the Yarbo. It's pretty cool. We have some extended antennas right here, which we did not use, and we got a phone clamp. The rest of the stuff on the table I bought. It did not come with the core unit. Some of you guys might want to buy the same thing I got here. I got a screw assortment pack to mount up the data center, plastic cable ties, 6 AWG solid copper wire, 25 feet in length. You're going to need that for grounding wire. I also got the Klein Tools pass-through RJ45 connectors, so I can put a new connector on my 30-meter cable. I got the Klein Tools tester to test my wire, and I also got the Klein Tools wire stripper and crimper. It works pretty good. I was showing you guys the extra stuff that I bought because I did cut down my 30-meter Ethernet cable, and I did that because I only wanted to drill a small hole to feed through my stone home. I didn't want to have to drill a really big hole to fit this connector right here. So I did decide to go with the Ideal shielded feed-through connectors, and the reason why I went with them is because it has an internal and external ground connection, which you will need for sending power through the Ethernet cable. And I used the Ideal FT-45 crimping tool to get the job done. Some of you will need to mount the data center on the side of your house, and you'll have the 2 poles, the T bracket right here, and this bracket that mounts on the side of the house. And it'll look something like this after you have it mounted, except for it'll be much higher up, because keep in mind, they have to have a 120-degree view of the sky, can't have nothing blocking that, and they want you to mount it as high as you possibly can. And some of you may want to mount the data center right in your yard. You'll put the 2 poles together with the T bracket, stick the bracket right on the end just like that, and mount it right into the ground with those long screws. And I'll be mounting my data center right on top of this pole right here. So that way it's got a nice clear 120-degree view of the sky. That way I can pick up the satellites real easy. And I'll be running the wires down the pole. The ground wire will go right into the ground, and the Ethernet cable will go right up and into my house and connect it to my Ethernet box. All right, we're ready to connect our antennas and hook up the wires to the data center. We're going to feed our Ethernet cable through this extension pole for the data center. Really doesn't matter if you're using 1 pole or 2 poles. You want to feed your Ethernet cable through the poles at this time. So it comes out the end there, and then you're going to fit it right into this slot onto the data center just like that. And you will notice on the data center that you have a yellow mark, and you also have a yellow mark on the pole, and you have this silver button. Push down the silver button and slide the pole up. Make sure you give yourself enough cable, because we're going to loop it around like this and go right into the PO-WAN port. Not to worry, you can follow along in the Yarbo Core instruction manual, and step number 6 says to unscrew the entire gland on the PO-WAN port, and that's what we'll do next. Then you'll want to take the gland apart by unscrewing the end and pushing out the rubber grommet. And then you want to open up this rubber grommet a little bit so you can remove the center. Now we'll slide everything onto our Ethernet cable. We'll slide the nut on first. Then we'll install the rubber grommet. And we'll slide our cable through the gland. Down inside the PO-WAN port, you can see where we're going to plug in our Ethernet cable. After you snap the Ethernet cable into place, then we can screw everything back together. And after you have everything together, it should look just like this. Step number 11, you want to use the connection bolts for the pole. We want to secure the pole to the data center. Next, we'll install the antennas. It's real easy to figure out where everything goes, because everything's labeled on the antennas, and it's also labeled on the data center. Now we want to position the halo antenna and the Bluetooth antenna at a 90-degree angle facing upward. Next, we'll install the halo clip. We'll slide it over the antenna just like that. You will get this rubber spacer and this pin. We'll slide the pin down through the clip and through this spacer. And we'll fasten it with this clip. After I have the data center mounted where I want it, I will need to install this solid copper wire in this connector right here. Tighten it down with those 2 bolts. The other end will get connected to a grounding rod. All right, now you guys can see how I have my data center mounted, and it sits on top of this 10-foot pole. I used 2 clamps and 4 screws to hold the data center in place, and I ran the wires down the pole. Although this is probably temporary, I'll probably put the wires inside conduit. I ran the solid copper wire alongside the house and fastened it right to the 8-foot long solid copper grounding rod. You need to do this to protect your house just in case the unit would get struck by lightning. I ran the Ethernet cable into the side of my house. This is where an existing TV cable once was, and this cable will run into the basement. Next, you need to find the short Ethernet cable that comes with your data center. We're going to plug one end into your home internet router. And this is when you're going to use that PO box. That's the power over Ethernet box. And we're going to plug that short Ethernet cable right into the connector that says LAN. Then we're going to take the Ethernet cable from the data center that you ran into the house. We're going to plug it right into the connector that says PO. Last thing we need to do is plug in the PoE box, and that'll give your data center power. I did not plug in the PoE box because I have to first install the app on my smartphone, and that's what I'm going to do in part 3, the next video. I'm going to show you guys how to install the app, enter your information, and then I'm going to show you how to install the charging pad for the Yarbo Core. And hopefully we may even get a chance to test it out. I'm Mark with the Ovalrc. We'll see you next time.